at least a 270 and 44 at SouthernArmory.com. That's SouthernArmory.com.
The Annie Fry Show.
Hi, I'm Annie Fry, and I have a new show Saturdays on 97.1. From the Millennial Minute to Rosie the Riveter, I can guarantee you won't hear a show like this anywhere else in St. Louis. I'll even cover Illinois. So listen to the Annie Fry Show Saturdays from 5 to 7 on FM News Talk 97.1.
You're listening to The Mark Cox Show. Find everything Mark Cox at 971talk.com/Cox.
What in the hell's diversity?
Well, I could be wrong, but I believe diversity is an old wooden ship that was used during the Civil War era.
Speaking of the Civil War era, welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, and stay classy. All right, I want to read something to you real quick before I introduce my guest. This is a speech given at the unveiling ceremony for a Confederate monument. For all ages, in probability, it will convey to succeeding generations a true conception of the love which continues to burn with undimmed brightness for the dead, and testify to the deep loyalty which still exists to the principles for which they died. Listen, it gets better. The great drama of which this is a part of a memorial is now history. Reconciliation has come. Hands of the gray and the blue meet in friendship and sympathetic pressure. Happiness and prosperity smiles upon the once devastated South, but the memory of our dead heroes is enshrined in every true Southern heart. And while loyal to the Stars and Stripes, we're proud of our soldiers. That's why these memorials were put up. That comes from a memorial that still stands in Anderson, South Carolina. So this is where I will part ways with you if you think that removing this statue changes anything. The person who disagrees with me the most staunchly on this, you know what you and I have in common? That statue was sitting there the day we were born. That statue was sitting there the day your parents were born. I'm willing to bet not many people have parents born in 1900 or 1914, whenever the statue was put up there. The point is, your life is not going to change whether the statue's there or not. Why do you feel butthurt about it? That's what I don't understand. Happy to have that conversation with you, and happy to introduce my friend Brad Hildebrand, radio legend in the St. Louis area, and now owns his own radio station, I understand, out in beautiful Washington, Missouri. Brad, how are you?
I'm fine. I own 3 of them now, believe it or not. 3
of them? You're a magnet. You're a radio magnet.
Yeah, and you know what they say about magnets? It attracts all kinds of junk.
Well, I'm so glad you reached out to me yesterday because you've read this story just like everybody else. And Brad reached out to me and said, I've got a friend, a client who has told me he's got the crane and the equipment, and he'd be more than happy to move this monument for free.
Well, it started out, I talked about this on my show, and believe it or not, they still let me on my own radio station. But and then I put a Facebook page up, or a post up on Tuesday, and I got the most response, and I essentially started out by saying, look what happens all over the world. We watch ISIS and the Taliban destroy all these historical and religious monuments, and we look at it with horror, but yet we're going to take one of our own monuments and take it away. And I got a lot of response in that. And then I heard you yesterday talking about this and the thing about how they started this GoFundMe. So I called up a friend of mine. He started as a client. He's turned into a friend, has a very substantial construction company with big monster cranes. I called him up yesterday afternoon, and I said to him, hey, he knew exactly what I was talking about. I said, would you be up for that? He says, tell me when. I'll go pick it up. So you and I went back and forth a couple times. We talked yesterday. I called him again this morning, and I said, okay, this is picking up some speed. Are you serious? He says, yeah. He says, I will go. Be more than happy. And this is a guy that has cranes that, this 40-ton statue in Forest Park would be one of the lightest things he'd probably pick up in a week.
Right.
And no problem. Take it down. absolutely no charge. Now, the interesting thing is I tweeted out a couple things in this. I'm already getting pushback because I'm getting people who are, tweeting back at me saying that this wouldn't be a politically correct way to do it because of the fact that this guy would want a favor. He doesn't want anything. Matter of fact, he doesn't even want anybody to know who he is. He's just sort of, upset about the whole situation, just like you are. And quite honestly, I am.
Well,
I mean, I'm a free speech guy. I got a journalism degree, as crazy as that may be for some people to believe, and this really bothers me because, and like you said, it's been there for 103 years now?
Yeah. Brad, the thing about it is, here's what I think your friend should do. He should offer to move it to the History Museum. Because what these crazy liberals want to do in the city, they want to hide it. They either want to bury it where it stands, they want to dig a hole and push it over into it and cover it up, or they want to go put it inside of a building where nobody's going to dare have their eyes hurt by it anymore. That's not what I want. I think they should display it prominently somewhere where other historic monuments are displayed. They're not moving the statue of St. Louis, although if you read the history of Louis the Ninth, I think it was, the left should view him as an Islamophobe. He led the Crusades against Muslims in the Middle East. I mean, you could find a million reasons to hate any statue or past person in history if you apply today's standards to that point in history, but you just can't do that. And that's why this whole thing just drives me crazy.
Well, Mark, I got the ultimate suggestion. And, Tashara Jones put up, what is it, Kickstarter, a GoFundMe account?
It's a GoFundMe page.
I'm sort of like a doer kind of person, and I know you are as well, too. Here's what we need to do. We need to put up our own GoFundMe account. We need to get somebody, maybe they'll donate some property. And what we need to do is start the National Museum of politically incorrect monuments, and we'll take this one and every other one in the country, and we'll have it, and I bet you we'd have people that show up. And then we can go to Convention and Visitors Bureau and pitch them on the fact that this would be a great attraction to the St. Louis area, that people can come who are politically incorrect, and they can go look at these statues.
Well, the problem is then that maybe the city would, we think they'd give us some TIF financing if we bought a piece of land to put that on?
Only if we put it up next to the NGA in North City, right? That's the only thing we could do.
Yeah, that's right.
And you know what? And this is a serious offer. The guy that and what's interesting is he doesn't want any publicity. He said he'd do it, and to the point where, and I said to him, how quick? He says, I can have it done in a week.
Wow. See, there's a side of me, Brad, that says I'd love to see him do that. And another side of me is if it gets moved, they win. So I want it. If it gets moved, I want it moved to where people can still see it. If they just want it out of the park, let's accomplish that for them. But I don't want them to get to gloat about the fact that they got the monument moved and nobody can see it anymore. Because most of these people never knew where the hell it was in the first place.
Well, and quite honestly, I think the monuments we should be putting up are the guys and gals who have gone on to the various wars, and same thing for naming buildings. I've always had a big thing like that. All the government buildings are named after politicians. Now you're seeing more of the names of our servicemen and women who've been, killed in the line of duty on the interstate. That's the way it should be with the buildings, and there should be monuments to those people as well too. And once again, what this monument really is a monument to all the men on both sides who died in the Civil War.
Very true. Brad, I tell you what, if I get any feedback from him, I will pass it along to you. But just so listeners understand, your friend who wants to remain anonymous in this is perfectly willing to do this if the city wants to take him up on it. So we'll put him in contact with each other if I hear from him.
And maybe, like I said, you and me working that GoFundMe page?
Yeah, there you go. All right, we'll talk, my friend.
Mark, good talking to you.
Brad Hildebrand, thank you very much for your time. I appreciate that. Always good to get Brad on the air. What do you do? Listen to this one. I brought this up a little bit yesterday, but I finally went and printed it out. See it here? This is a Confederate statue that's in front of the county courthouse in Anderson, South Carolina. I probably shouldn't tell the crazy libs about this, but it commemorates the Confederate dead. There's a rumor that the statue on top of it was fashioned after a Confederate soldier who, after the war, made his living, not a living really, but he made his name by killing Union soldiers as they would go into the woods to go to the bathroom. He'd snipe them. He'd pick them off. He killed dozens of them. And then he moved to Texas and died of old age somewhere down there, right? His name is Mance Jolly. Here's what the inscription says on the side of this statue in Anderson, South Carolina, "The world shall yet decide in truth's clear, far-off light that the soldiers who wore the gray and died with Lee were in the right." All the one over here in Forest Park says is this is to commemorate our soldiers who went off and died in the war. That's all it says. It doesn't say anything about supporting the Confederacy or anything. But it is a very large granite monument protruding from the rear ends of some of St. Louis's liberals, and they can't stand it. So if you're listening in Tashara Jones' office today and you want to take Brad's friend up on his offer to move the thing for free, call us. We'll hook you up. How about that? Then maybe they can bring it down there and plant it in front of City Hall. That'd be fantastic. Wouldn't that just be sweet? 314-969-9797, 866-455-9797. We'll get some of your phone calls. And we're going to talk about a special deal that's coming up to benefit children. It is a motorcycle and car show that's going to be going on this weekend. And we'll tell you all about it and get your phone calls coming up.
This is the Mark Cox Show. Air Comfort Service Heating and Cooling. Weather with Dave Murray.
Partly sunny skies. It's warm. Just a slight chance of a spot shower or thunder shower. 88 tonight. Big batch of rain and thunderstorms well after midnight. 65 will do it for the low. Friday's kind of a wet day. Periods of rain and thunderstorms. It's a little bit cooler in the 70s to near 80 degrees. A little break in the wet Friday evening, but more wet late Friday night, Saturday night. I'm Fox 2 meteorologist Dave Murray for FM News Talk 97.1.
The Mark Cox Show is sponsored in part by Granite Transformations. Let them transform your kitchen, bath, or commercial space. Explore the wide selection of products in their beautiful showroom in Chesterfield or online at granitetransformations.com. They have the perfect solution for your next project. Time to go to the Range St. Louis West if you've never been there to hone your skills. If you like to use the 20 state-of-the-art range lanes they have downstairs, they've got great training. They've got an entire third range area that they use for training. They can do it for regular target practice, or they can open it up and they can do move and shoot competitions. They can do CCW training, self-defense classes. All of these things are offered at the range right on their website. Here's what they've just started. They've now got a monthly membership program starting at $25 a month where you can save on range rates, you save on ammo, you get discounts on training. They have a bunker bonus every month, and this month it's half off the training courses. You can go to therangestl.com, see that whole list of courses, purchase as many as you want for half price during the month of May, and you have 12 months to use them. If you've already